Welcome to Momentum Monday, your quick hits of strategy and mindset to kickstart the week and move your jewelry business forward. I'm your host, Robin Clark, and if the thought of selling your work makes you want to crawl under a blanket and hide, this episode is for you. By the end of today's quick episode, you'll understand why sales feel so vulnerable and how to shift your mindset so you can start selling with confidence and heart. So let's dive right in. And to kick us off today, I want to just call it out. The reality is that sales is vulnerable. It is such a vulnerable thing. You are not just selling a product, especially as a designer. You are selling something that you created, often with your hands. You're selling a brand that you've carefully curated or made. And so something that came from your heart, your hands, your imagination, that's a vulnerable thing to put that out into the world and ask people to pay money for that. And so every time you're taking your jewelry and you're putting it out into the world, there is a chance that someone will say, no, thank you. Or even worse, like nothing at all. And so it really makes sense that selling makes you feel exposed sometimes. It makes it feel really personal. And here's what I want you to hear today. Avoiding sales doesn't protect you from rejection. It just guarantees that your jewelry business is going to stay stuck. And I'm going to say that again for anyone who needs to hear that. Avoiding sales doesn't protect you from rejection. It just guarantees that your jewelry business is going to stay stuck. You cannot grow a jewelry brand without being willing to show up vulnerably and sell. And that doesn't just mean posting about your pieces. It doesn't mean just hinting at the jewelry and that you have a business that people can buy. It's actually inviting people to buy. And that is very vulnerable, but that's where the connection happens. That's where confidence is built. And that's where your income is created. Because here's the thing. When you show up and sell with conviction, you are giving people the opportunity to say yes, to connect, to wear something that makes them feel bold or confident or reminds them of certain milestones in life or certain people that are really important to them. And so when you are driving sales and you're showing up and talking about your brand and your jewelry and your pieces, you are not begging anyone for anything. You're not annoying anyone. You're standing in your value. You're sharing your passion. You're sharing your conviction for the brand that you're building. And you're just extending an invitation. And so if you're someone who gets ghosted when you share your pieces or your pricing, or you panic when someone's like, oh my gosh, well, how much is it? That is your invitation to do the deeper work. When you feel anxiety in your body, it's not a sign that your business doesn't have a chance or whatever. It's just a sign like, hey, we need to do the deeper work so that we can sell from a place where we're not in this fearful, apologetic energy, because people can feel that and it isn't going to get you very far. You can then be doing all the marketing and doing the showing up, and you still won't quite be driving the sales you should be because it's coming from that apologetic energy. And so we want you to step into that version of yourself. I like to call it your CEO version, who is able to sell from a place of clarity and belief and conviction, because that is magnetic. And it also makes sales feel more effortless. So if that resonates with you, here's what I want you to focus on this week. First thing I want you to do is to detach your worth from the sale. This is so important in business. If you have attached your worth as an individual to how well your business is doing or to how well your sales are doing, you're going to be on a rocky roller coaster and it's not going to be a fun time. So detach your worth from the sale. And if someone says no, it doesn't mean your work's not good, your jewelry's not good enough, whatever. It just means they weren't the right fit or it wasn't the right time. And I want you to practice saying your price out loud. So in the mirror every day or on voice notes or message friends or whatever, Say your price with confidence, even if your voice is a little shaky. Practice saying it so when you're at an event or someone's messaging you and asking for the price, you share the price and then you don't go and try and justify it. Next thing I want you to do is reframe rejection, because every no brings you closer to a yes. One of the challenges I give my clients often within the Jewelry Business Academy is to go collect 100 no's for different things, whether it's wholesale outreach or whatever they're working on, because every no brings you closer to a yes. Every ghosted DM is feedback for you, and you're just really building emotional resilience. And that's a very, very valuable CEO skill in business. And then the fourth thing is, I want you to tell yourself the truth. The truth is that you can do vulnerable things, and you already are. And selling gets easier the more you do it. So, I'm going to leave you with that today. And if this episode made you realize that sales is an emotional thing for you, I just want you to know that you are not alone. The good news is that you can learn to sell with more ease, with more confidence, and with more results. And that's what we do inside the Jewelry Business Academy. We help jewelry designers build powerful, simple sales systems that feel good to use. Um, and maybe it won't feel good when you're starting something new. There's a little bit of anxiety sometimes around doing new things and implementing new systems. And that's normal. That's our body trying to keep us safe from growth. But when we implement these systems, when we get clear on what strategies we need to implement in order to drive sales, how we need to talk to customers, how we need to reach out to stores, how we frame things, our body language, I've seen people who have zero sales skills go from being on the struggle bus to effortlessly selling on Instagram Lives, through online, through email marketing at events. So if you want to learn more about that, you can DM me the word sales on Instagram at Robin Clark Coaching. And we can share a little bit about what that looks like within the JBA. And if this episode hit home, share it with a jewelry biz bestie who is scared to sell but doesn't want to be stuck anymore. You've got this, and I will see you next Monday.